Hello and welcome back to another one of Paul's beer reviews. Hope you're doing well today. I have got a red ale to review for you, and it's from a new brewery to the channel. New one on me. It's Bowness Brewing up in Cumbria in Lancashire, up in the Lake District region of the country, and this is their Raven Red. It says it's a craft beer of the Lake District, coming in at 4.2% ABV. There is the Bowness Brewing logo. Plain black bottle cap. So yeah, 4.2% ABV red ale, Raven Red. There's the label. It says treacle, caramel flavours and a hint of roasted barley are blended with New World, Citra and Columbus hop varieties, which infuse this red ale with a balanced grapefruit aroma. Ingredients: water, malted barley, hops and Lake District water. There you go. 500ml bottle. 4.2% ABV. This beer was kindly gifted to me by a relative who lives in the area, so thank you to them. And yeah, new one on me. Never had anything from Bowness Brewing. So Raven Red. I do fancy a red ale. I always quite enjoy a red ale, and this one sounds like it's a bit of a hoppy one as well. Whoa, that's carbonated. That exploded out of the bottle. Let's see if I can retrieve some of that. God, I think despite that initial explosion, I think I've got away with that. I filled up my beer mat though, because I've got to do some tidying up later. That'll be fun. Oh yeah. That couldn't wait to get out of the bottle, that one. Give that a dink. There you go. A little bit still left in the bottle. Wait for their head to die down, which doesn't seem to be in too much of a rush to do. So there's the beer in the glass. It certainly looks like a red ale. It's got a beautiful sort of mahogany, light red, dark amber colour to it. Relatively translucent, seeing a bit through there. Slight haze to it. It's holding on to a solid one finger, pretty much white haired, foamy, quite thick. Not in a rush to go anywhere. Let's get me snouting, see what the aroma's telling us. Certainly grapefruit, and I'm getting straight away a sort of a caramelly malt touch as well. That is malt and hop in balance with one another straight away. That's a good sign. Yeah, definitely citrusy, definitely grapefruity, definitely malty. Neither one of those two elements is overshadowing the other. That's quite a nice aroma. Let's get stuck in. Cheers. And the flavour is exactly the same. It's grapefruity, it's citrusy, it's bitter, but there's a lovely sweet caramelly, slightly toffee strong malty character to it as well. The grapefruit's really up front on this. Straight away, as soon as it hits your tongue, big hit of grapefruit. Very subtle, very subtle tropical notes that you're getting from the Citra. There's a touch of pineapple. Grapefruit, pineapple, slightly peachy. And then there's a lovely sort of caramel, toffee sweetness from the malt that comes through. And then at the back end, you're left with that grapefruit, citrusy, slightly bitter kick that runs all the way through. Grapefruit up front, touch of tropical notes from the Citra, lovely malty middle ground to it, touch of sweetness. And you're left with that grapefruit bitterness, slightly piney finish to it. And I tell you what else, it's slightly drying. I've had a few swigs now, and I'm realising it's actually quite drying on the palate. There's the hops in this. Is it Citra and Columbus? Yeah, Citra and Columbus in this. It's giving it West Coast IPA vibes. The hops are giving it a West Coast IPA character, but that malt is keeping it balanced. It's making it very much a hoppy ale rather than an IPA. Excuse me. One thing I've got to note, the water quality on this is beautiful. It's really soft, really light, really drinkable. It's making it a bit of a smasher, a real thirst quencher, this one. The hops and the malt in this are working in tandem with one another. It's not really something I say quite often on these reviews. I say the word balanced quite a lot. That's definitely a case here. That's definitely an example of a balanced beer. The flavours on it are really pronounced. Normally when I do a beer review, there's almost like 3 stages to a beer, I find. You get like sweetness up front, then you get like the malt character mid palate, and then the back end you're getting like any bitterness or lingering flavours from the hops. With this, I say it's more 2 stages. And that first stage continues as the second stage comes in. So there's like piney grapefruit and a touch of sweetness from the hops that hits your palate straight away. And then just as your palate's sort of acclimatising to that, you then get sweetness of caramel and toffee from the malt bill. And then that sort of fades. And then that grapefruit and that slightly bitter, piney flavour that you get initially continues to follow through, and you're left with it. You're left with that citrusy, piney bitterness. And it's all the while, it just works. It just works really well. It's a really nicely made beer. I'm enjoying that. Bowness Bay Brewing from Cumbria in Lancashire. That's cracking. I really like it. I imagine that on cask would be rather special. It'd probably be even softer, seeing as it's been bottled. And what's the date on this one? Can I find a date? Date on the neck apparently somewhere. Not that I can see it. Oh no, I found one. Is that a date? I don't think that's a date. No, I'm not sure what that is. Can't read it. But I imagine this on cask would be lovely. Really good. Lovely, soft, smooth, lovely water quality. Really nice on the palate. Really good juice of the hops. A touch of sweetness, touch of citrus, tropical fruit on arrival. Just a touch. Then it's all about the malt. Lovely caramel, toffee. Lovely subtle sweetness to it. And then when that fades, that grapefruit comes back. And the bitterness from that grapefruit and the hoppy, the pininess, that West Coasty vibe lingers. And you are left with a really nice finish because you still got a touch of sweetness from the malt there. But that's excellent. That's a really nice beer. Bowness Bay Brewing, Raven Red. I imagine that on cask would be absolutely spectacular. Lovely beer from those guys. Really impressed with that. I like that enough to give that a solid 8 out of 10. Cracking beer from Lancashire. I hope you've enjoyed this beer review. I've enjoyed doing it. Give it a thumbs up. Do appreciate that. And until my next one, you take care.